Hi friends. Hey, today is a tutorial about bridges. We're going to talk about, do you roll up, do you roll down, where do your feet go, what is the goal, and how do you progress the bridge from the basic two-level bridge. So if you're curious at all about bridges, join me on your mat. All right, so coming down into position, I like to be able to reach down and just about touch my heels. The goal here is you don't want your heels right up under and touching your back of your butt. And you don't want them so far away. Now, a lot of people do have stiffness in their knees, so they can't get them far back. But get them as far back as you can so that you come close to touching your heels. So the goal is that when you bridge up, your knees should be pretty close to on top of your ankles so that your shins are nice and vertical. That's the goal. If yours doesn't look perfect, it's okay. It's okay. Now, the purpose of a bridge and really the targeted muscles on the bridge as we press our heels into the mat and lift our hips up is to really engage our back body. So you could feel this in your low back, you could feel this in your glutes, you could feel this in your hamstrings. So all of those muscles play an active part in helping your hips to lift up. Sometimes you'll see me lift my toes up. Sometimes I leave them flat. That's just a habit that I have. Your hands can be palm up or palm down. Now, I tend to teach the palm down method. As our hands press down into the mat, our latissimus dorsi is engaged. And our latissimus is a big, strong shoulder and back muscle that wraps into the lumbodorsal fascia and helps provide some stability. And this connects to the glutes and hamstrings through the fascial system. So I like working all of these muscles together when we're targeting the back body for our exercises, knowing that back strengthening exercises are really good for osteoporosis. So this one is really a winner. So palms down, feet are in line with your hips and your knees, so we don't want the knees out. We don't want them touching or coming together. They stay, foot, ankle, knee stay in line, palms pressed down, and I'm just bracing gently at the belly button. I'm not flattening the back onto the mat, not this with osteoporosis. We're keeping this neutral spine position. I'm pressing through the feet and lifting the hips up, not trying to think too much about it. Now, I've heard questions about people saying, well, do I roll down through the bridge on the way down? And with bone health programs, we don't teach that method. We want you to keep that relatively straight spine, press up, lift up, lower down, back down, keeping that slight curve in your low back, keeping gentle tension through your waist and your belly button as you do it. So let's work through this together. We have our feet in position, our palms down, our head in neutral, pressing through the heels and the hands to lift. At the top, squeeze the cheeks together as if you're holding a $1,000 bill in there. And then lower back down, going with control. Lift up, lower down. You don't need to overarch, although I rarely see people overarch. As older adults, I often see people that are very tight in the front of their hips, so they have a harder time getting this full extension. So this is a great way to work a stretch through the front of the hips while strengthening the back of the hips. There we go. I lost count. Let's do one more. Great. Now, sometimes you can develop just a little tension, a little soreness in the low back for that. And if you do, let's just take one knee and give it a little hug into your chest. Maybe draw little circles there. But this is a great way, if you feel that tension in your low back after doing bridges, hug one knee in, pull it back, hug the other knee in. And you should feel right away that kind of relieves some of that tightness that you're feeling in there. Great. Always okay to do that, to loosen up if you feel any of that low back tension from those exercises. Okay, so that is the basic bridge. We don't roll down. I teach it while also pressing the palms in so we activate more of the muscles that we are trying to activate. And then the progression as we work up to a one-legged bridge would be to go up with 2 legs, down with 1. Up with 2 legs, down with 1. And you could do the same repetitions, 8 to 10 per side, 2 to 3 sets to really build that strength in that back body with no weights required. Once you get confident at that, you're doing 2 to 3 sets with the 2 legs up, 1 leg down version. Then you can get really crazy and do your one-legged bridge version. So that would be the next progression. If you want to add a little resistance, we can take our CLX band or whatever exercise band you use. I get a firm grip, add a little tension there, anchor it down on the mat, and I use that as my resistance for my bridge. It also happens to be a great tricep exercises as my arms are holding and pinning that rubber band down. So that's one way to add resistance. And then you can also put a dumbbell on your hips and use that as a way to add resistance. I think if we're looking at targeting glutes and back body, my preference would be to do double leg version, get really good at doing 2 or 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps of body weight, work to the single leg version, and so that you're also doing 2 to 3 sets of 10 repetitions on the single leg version. And then if you need to progress that because that's easy, I think the better bet is to move on to versions of deadlifts, which go to that same targeted area in a different position, but it will allow you to progress more than a weight on your belly or a band on your hips. I just wanted to show you some different variations there. Anyway, there have been several questions about bridges, so I just wanted to add this nice quick video to show you the cues that I like to give and variations that I use with my clients in the clinic, and that you can absolutely hug your knee into your chest if you just need to relieve some of that low back tension with this, which is really, really common. Anyway, thanks. Let me know what you think down below.